Hi everyone. So in this video, I'm going to go ahead and discuss different types of lab equipment that you can use to measure out liquids. So the first one is a burette, and there's actually two different spellings for this depending upon who you talk to and where you look at your resources. So this is used to add a precise amount of liquids. And this will often be used for acid-base chemistry when using titrations. And we'll talk more about that later on this year. The next thing is the graduated cylinder. And these are very common. You've probably used them before. And they are used to measure larger volumes of liquids, anything from about 10 milliliters up to 1 liter or even more sometimes. The benefit of a graduated cylinder is it can measure many different volumes. So from 10, 11, 12 milliliters, you have some variety and some options there. And a quick note here, the term graduated refers to all the different little lines on the side of the container. So if we look at that picture there, we see there are all the big lines for each 10 milliliter marking, but also little lines in between. And that means we can measure out multiple different volumes. We also have graduated pipettes. So again, we have that word graduated, meaning there's all those little lines. And this is used for measuring out smaller volumes, so typically less than 10 milliliters. But again, we can measure out many different volumes using one piece of equipment. So everything from 1 to 2 to 2.5 milliliters we can measure out using a graduated pipette. The next thing we have is a volumetric flask. Now, volumetric flasks are very helpful when you need to accurately measure one specific volume. For example, if you're making a solution and you know you need 1 liter of it exactly, you would use a volumetric flask. And these are generally for larger volumes, so from 10 milliliters up to 2 or even more liters, we'd use a volumetric flask. And in this case, volumetric refers to an etched line. So if you look on the neck of the volumetric flask, there's a line there. That is calibrated by hand in order to measure the exact volume that you're being requested. So this process, because it's done by hand, makes volumetric equipment more expensive than graduated equipment, but it is more accurate, so it has its uses. We also have volumetric pipettes. Like the volumetric flask, they can only measure one volume, but they do it really, really well. And these tend to be used for smaller volumes, so 25 milliliters or less. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, make sure you're paying close attention to whether it's a graduated piece of equipment or a volumetric piece of equipment. So have a great day, everyone. Bye.